Okay, let's do a Holy Grail full face makeup tutorial. A lot of this is included in the Sephora sale. There may be like one or two things that aren't, but I will link everything at the end. So stay with me. It's probably going to get a little long, but here goes. So I've already filled in my eyebrows. If you saw my reel with the 5 makeup tips for beginners, I always say fill in your eyebrows first. It really shapes your face and it helps give you ideas of where your eyeliner should be, where your contour should be on your nose, and it really helps you know where to stop your eyeshadow as well. I do have a whole eyebrow tutorial saved in my highlights and it's titled Eyebrows, so check that out. It's I use 2 like drugstore eyebrow pencils and I use 2 different shades. It's a whole production. I always just do my eyebrows before everything and the tutorial is saved in that highlight. Let's start. All I have on is my skincare. Last step was sunscreen, so this is how my skin naturally looks. There's no makeup on my skin. Mentioned this also in the beginner tips reel. I go in with 2 primers. This is like it's called Hollywood Flawless Filter. You could wear this alone if you like a light makeup look. It has obviously some color to it and it's so pretty. It gives my skin like this nice healthy glow. It looks like I've drank like 20 bottles of water already with this on my skin. So I put it everywhere except my T-zone. So for me that's my nose, like right here and right here on my forehead. And then on those areas, I go in with a different primer. I like to use 2 different primers because I have combination skin. So where I put the Flawless Filter, my skin is like normal to dry. And everywhere else, I'm oily and I have pores that I want to blur. This Oil Control Pore Blurring Primer is so good. I've been using it for a long time now. And I just put it there and on my forehead. I have like a big shiny spot right here in the middle of my forehead, and then I bring it here and kind of like around my brows on the inside. I'm just going to put a little bit more on my nose. Don't forget eyeshadow primer. I've had this one forever. These tubes last forever. I just have the one that's, this packaging is old, but the one I linked is still the same thing. It's just this one is the older packaging, and I am ordering a new tube tomorrow when the sale starts, because I've been squeezing the life out of this one. This Dior foundation is so good. So I wrote this in my blog post, but if you're still using the Estee Lauder Double Wear, I love that one too. When you run out of that one, go for the Dior. It's a little bit lighter in how it feels on my face, but it still gives me really good full coverage like the Double Wear does. So definitely don't get rid of your Double Wear if you're still using it. That is a great foundation. But once I found this one, there was no turning back. And then I always like to apply my foundation to the middle of my face and then blend out so it looks super natural, because we tend to need more coverage in the center of our face than on the outside. So I just do that and blend out. And I try to avoid getting a lot of foundation right under my eyes because we're going to put concealer there. And that will help keep it from creasing, so there's not too much product. Then concealer, love this one by NARS. It's so good. I go with a much lighter shade than my skin tone because I really like a bright under eye, and I always put it right here. I never put it right under, and then I put it here. We always want to lift the face. I love this one. So this one compared to Tarte, it's a lighter consistency as far as like the feeling of the thickness of the concealer, but I feel like it's the same amount of coverage and it blends out really nicely. It looks natural and you can see how much brighter that is for my under eye. So for example, like my foundation shade is in the, I don't even know, I think it's like in the 30s. But I mean, these are different brands, but like this is so much lighter than my foundation. If you want to go with a really bright under eye concealer, so I always shop for foundation in the medium skin tones, but when I'm shopping for concealer, I shop for like the light skin tone or the light to medium skin tone. So it's much brighter than my foundation, so it actually brightens my under eye. So then I'm going to set my under eye. In order to avoid creasing under my eyes, I take a smaller brush, dip it into the setting powder, and really tap it into where I get those lines under my eyes that my makeup could possibly settle into. And this will keep it from settling. And then I take my puff and get a good amount of product on there and go all over my under eye. And I'm gonna let this sit for like a whole minute. Usually I like move on to my eyes, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna let it sit and keep working on my face. And then I like to go back in like right here where it's kind of shiny, and here with whatever's left on the puff. So I've let that setting powder set now. Now I'm going in with a powder foundation. I always apply powder to my face. I think that's what gives me that airbrush look. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear powder. Dior makes a really good powder to go along with the foundation. The Dior powder I have though is too dark for my skin, so I went back to my Double Wear, and this is old packaging, but I will link both. Both work really nicely, and I like to take this and buff it in really lightly. I don't want to like move the makeup that's already on my face, but honestly these products are such good quality, like nothing's gonna move or budge. And you can kind of see everything's kind of a little more cohesive now. The under eye blends really well with the foundation. I really focus this on my T-zone too to really blur those pores, keep me matte all day, or not too oily. I'll definitely have some like natural shine come through, but it'll look more glowy than oily. I really love this Kosas setting powder for my T-zone. I kind of just dab it on right here. It really just keeps me from getting super oily. And you could use this under your eyes too. So the other day I talked about this contour. It's saved in my Sephora sale highlight, but it is so good. So when you're doing contour, wherever this falls, you want to go above it. So you can always do this into like the hollow of your cheek, and then you want to go above it. And if you want a more natural look, like I like a strong contour, put it on your brush, like dab your brush onto this, like this, and then apply it. And it will look a little more natural than like a harsh or dramatic contour, but I like a strong contour. So always blend this up and into my hairline so it looks super natural. And then I'll bring it down just a little bit, but always blending up so we get that really nice lifted look. So I'll blend it in this side so you could see the difference. And I like to, when I blend this out into my hairline, bring it down so this is nice and connected. You could also add some here just to really define the jaw. I am obsessed with this blush right now for fall and winter. It's like this beautiful mahogany kind of mauve color. And I like that it just fades into my contour color so nicely. It all just like goes together so nicely. Again, this just dabbing this on and really making sure I blend it out into the hairline so it looks more natural. Always blending up. And then I like to sweep a little bit like across my nose and kind of connect this a little bit. And then you can also take a little bit and just kind of make it all go together. Put a little on the forehead. So pretty. You guys know I love this highlighting palette. I'm just going to take this gold shade here and just add a little highlight. And I'll probably go in and highlight my eyes with this again as well, but so good. Before I move on to eyes, I'm just going to spray my face once and then I'll spray it again after my makeup is all done. If you have like a special event to go to, after you apply foundation, spray your face. After you apply concealer, spray your face. Let it dry and then go in with the setting powder and the powders, spray your face. I feel like getting more sprays in helps your makeup like really like last all night if you have like a special event. It just really holds everything together. But I mean, I just spray my face usually once at the end, but I have a long day today, so I'm gonna spray it now and then spray it at the end. So I sprayed my face. I really just kind of spray it like try to get it everywhere. Let it dry. Do not touch your face while it's still wet like this. It will dry down and just really lock in your makeup. Been loving this eyeshadow palette. I just got it. I'm going in with this bright color right here and going all over. just so you can see how much more even and bright my eyelid is now. Always blow off or tap off excess eyeshadow so it's not falling out onto your face makeup. And if that's something that is always happening to you, do your eye makeup first. Usually I do my eye makeup first, but I find with these tutorials, people like to see face makeup first. So you can always do your eyeshadow first. I feel like as long as you've done your eyebrows, you've got a good start to do your eyeshadow. Then going in with kind of like this like lighter camel color here and just putting this all over my lid into the crease a little bit. Then I'm going in with this brown shade here and this one here, mixing them together. And then I'm just gonna kind of start right here and blend this out. Kind of going for like a really kind of brown, bronzy makeup look. So pretty. These colors are really nice and pigmented and they blend out so smoothly. Another good thing about kind of doing your eyeshadow first is you can really clean it up with concealer. Like the way my makeup is now, I know where to stop because that's where my eyebrow stops. But if you really want that sharp line, you could always do eyeshadow first and then create that sharp line with concealer. Everything you do, don't forget to really blend things out. I feel like that is the key to good looking makeup, is everything is just so blended out. This palette has a lot of really pretty shimmer shades. I'm like trying to figure out what finger to put these all on, but really pretty for the holidays. So I like with these shimmer shades to just mix two together and then kind of tap it on the eyelid from the center in, and you've got kind of like a nice shimmer effect. So pretty. I kind of like smoothed it out a little bit towards the outer corner of the lid. I like to apply these with my fingers so you really get that touch of shimmer in a concentrated area. It kind of gives like an icicle effect. Going back to this palette to highlight my eyes. And that is it for eyes. You can always make this a little more dramatic by darkening it. This palette actually has a really good liner shade to it, this dark brown here. And I'm just going to the corner of my eye and dragging this out to create the wing. Try to make it even. Mine hardly are ever even, but you know. And you can always go in with like a touch of concealer and clean it up a little bit. Let me find my brush. So it looks kind of thick, and this is another reason why like doing your eyeshadow first is a good idea, but I'm just gonna take a little concealer and just clean this up a little bit. I am definitely not a pro at like the winged eyeliner look. And then you can always go back and like add some powder right here so it doesn't look too bright. Keep working with this liner and bring it in. Taking what's left on this brush and just lining the bottom right here, kind of connecting it all. And that is it. Heated eyelash curler, I always put it on the higher heat setting. It does not get that hot, but it takes a few seconds to warm up. Love this one. I have completely replaced my manual eyelash curler with this heated one. And when I use it, I just get to the base of my lashes and run this heated eyelash curler through, kind of pushing the lashes up. And I just do this a few times, kind of hold and wiggle them up. get them in place. And then I go immediately in with my mascara primer just to really lock in that curl. Highly recommend mascara primer before you put on any mascara. It makes a huge difference. Letting the mascara primer dry down for a minute. Two of my favorite mascaras that are included in the sale. This one I've used for years. This one's not even that much newer, but I love both of these, so I'll probably go in with both. But this one really gives you that length. This one gives you a little bit more volume, so they work really well together, but you don't need both. I would go with the Bad Gal Bang if I had to pick one. But I let this dry down for like 30 seconds so it gets a little tacky, but it isn't completely dry. Mascara, I'm just lifting from the base and wiggling up. And then I like to go in with the end and just kind of coat each lash. And that is one coat. This mascara really gives me good volume, and the brush is really nice. It has all these like tiny bristles on it. And I like how skinny the actual wand is because you can really get in there and it doesn't get clumpy. Okay, this is like 2 coats of the Bad Gal Bang. Just gonna go in a little bit with the Pillow Talk. This brush is really good too. It really gets in there. This is just kind of gonna build and give some volume. But both of these are great because they really separate the lashes and they don't get clumpy. They don't like smear or fall out under my eyes. Finished up with mascara, and you can already see like the natural shine on my face that comes through. And before I'm done, I just like to take a little bit of that cloud setting powder and just go in where it's a little shiny. And I will either carry usually I just carry my foundation powder in my purse with a brush. So like if I have a really long day and I just need to touch up, that is what I'll use. For lips, love this neutral or nude lip liner. I like to overdraw my top lip right here at the Cupid's bow. And then I do my bottom lip like normal and I fill it all in. This is a great base for any lip color because once your lip gloss or lipstick wears off, you still have this base of lip liner. And then I'm going in with the gloss that matches my blush so we can tie it all together. And this one is a plumping one. I believe this shade comes in a lip oil too. Okay, that is the finished look. I'll link everything next. I feel like it'll look better like once I get my hair dried and everything. But that is like my most loved products right now. I'm gonna go in with a little more setting spray and that is it. Okay, here is my makeup in the natural lighting. Love this blush. The eyeshadow palette, you can really see that kind of shimmery shade like catching the light. This is like all my favorites.